So before we get started with today's video, I have to make a huge shout out to the nation. If you guys have seen, Raider Ray has officially broken 300 subscribers, and I know that might not sound like a lot, but in the last 2 weeks, we have gained over 200 subscribers, and it could not be without the nation. So nation, I appreciate you, and if you guys have not yet, subscribe to the channel, hit it with the like button. It is the easiest way to support this channel and help it grow. So without further ado, let's get straight into the material, right? I want to bring to your attention, you guys, it is someone who has gone completely under the radar. With the additions of Devontae and Chandler Jones and all the talent that we've brought in free agency, this is a guy who has been swept under the rug, and I kind of want to peel it back and observe this guy and give him the credit that he deserves. So we're going to go head over to the linebacker room, and we are going to address Jayon Brown, linebacker from the Tennessee Titans. You see, Jayon Brown signed a one-year, $1.25 million deal with the Las Vegas Raiders in the offseason, and there's a reason. He's coming off a pretty significant knee injury. But if he can come into the 2022 season healthy, I want to show you what he can bring to the silver and black. So let's go straight over to the measurables. He's a 6-foot-tall, 227-pound linebacker who is your modern, prototypical linebacker in today's league. While he might be smaller and not your typical 240, 250-pound linebacker, this guy excels in man coverage, which is exactly why Patrick Graham has brought him into this defense to plug and play and fit this scheme like a glove. This is exactly what the Las Vegas Raiders needed because, as we all know, watching this defense, we have struggled over the middle of the field with linebackers in coverage, specifically to tight end. So look no further than Jayon Brown to come in, plug and play, and immediately bolster that Las Vegas Raiders defense. So let's get into some of the things. Let's jump into some career stats. He was a Tennessee Titan for 5 years. He has 9.5 career sacks. He has 4 interceptions. Listen to this. He has 28 pass breakups. Now, the one thing that I do struggle with Jayon Brown is his ability to disengage tackles and tight ends. If he can't beat them with speed and finesse or jump a gap, he has a hard time disengaging from tackles. He can kind of disappear in the run game when it comes to that, but he does supply an adequate ability to play the run. Where he makes up with his lack of run, we're going to address of what a pro is for him. But before we do, I want to take it back to the run game and things that I do like about his run game. You see, Jayon Brown is a player that is extremely smart up here. This is a guy who plays his gaps. He's fundamentally sound. He plays with extremely good technique. And it's not too often that on film you see Jayon Brown out of position. In fact, offensive coordinators and quarterbacks, when they were scouting the Titans defense, would say that they would watch Jayon Brown because he is a player who is very rarely out of position, and I love to hear that. This is a guy who can shoot gaps, play fundamentally sound, know what the defensive rules are in their given scheme. You see, Tennessee Titans, they have a different defense, and they have rules. Every defense around the National Football League has rules and principles that apply, which is why you see some players thrive in a certain scheme, and then when they're placed in another scheme, their skills and abilities either take off or they flourish. So, Jayon Brown can be adequate in the run game. Now, where I really like Jayon Brown's game is obviously pass coverage. Look, this is an elite graded cover linebacker in the National Football. Matter of fact, he's one of the best coverage linebackers in all of football. This is a guy who is known for his press man ability as a linebacker. He's a guy who takes running backs out of the game. Very, very rarely is he beat. He is extremely good in covering the middle of the field, something that has been an Achilles heel of the Las Vegas Raiders for quite some time. This defensive staff knows what the Raiders' weaknesses are, and they address them. I love that. You go and get players that fit your scheme and can jump in and be a plug-and-play player for you. And I love that. Jayon Brown is just that. Matter of fact, in 2018, he had an 84.6 coverage grade as a linebacker. I mean, that is wild. He allowed less than 70% QBR as a linebacker. I mean, this is a guy who offers serious cover skill grades. And where he does get beat, when he does get beat by a running back, Jayon plays with really good technique. I mean, really good technique as a linebacker. But there are times where he can get caught hunched over and his hips are square to the runner, and it lets the runner make a shift, make a move, and really do a release on him that creates space. But that doesn't happen very often, which is why I think it's going to be a fantastic addition for the Las Vegas Raiders. So Raider Nation, when you pair Jayon Brown and Denzel Perryman and a Divine Diablo and a Malcolm Kuntz and a Cleve Farrell and a Fackrell and a Kenny Young, I mean, we have a young linebacker core who has all the potential in the world, and I'm so curious to see how it all comes together. Much like last year when Denzel Perryman came over, and not many people expected much of Denzel Perryman when we acquired him, just a solid run guy, he turns in a Pro Bowl season with almost 150 tackles. Now, I'm not saying Jayon is going to have 150 tackles because that's not what's going to happen, but I do see Jayon having the ability to make an impact just like Denzel Perryman made for us last season. Raider Nation, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Do you think that this is a complete steal for $1.25 million? I mean, the kid is 27 years old, and this is a very low-risk, high-reward signing that I really think Raider Nation should keep their eyes on Jayon Brown in the 3-4 scheme. We're building something special on this defensive side of the football, and it is a thrill to watch. This is the best offseason I've ever seen the Las Vegas Raiders have, and the fact that we have this much to talk about is just awesome. So Raider Nation, thank you guys again for all the support. I couldn't do it without you guys. Drop a comment. I'd love to chat with you guys and interact with you guys. So you guys know the deal. As always, just win, baby.